Welcome, everyone. I'm Mac.
And I'm Tay. We're talking game with our former teammate, Kiara Houser. Hello. Thanks for hanging out with us. Okay, warm-up question. If you could live in any fictional world, what world would you live in?
That's the easiest question I've ever answered, and it's Hogwarts.
I'm so glad. Okay, what house are you in?
Well, I took a test online, and I'm actually a Ravenclaw.
I'm an Ravenclaw. Anyway, that was beautiful. Have you been to Universal Studios?
No, but I would love for
Harry
somebody to
Potter.
take me.
I'd love for somebody to take you.
Heard it here first.
She's ready to be taken there.
I'm ready to be taken if anybody wants to take me to Hogwarts. I mean, Harry Potter world, I would just love that.
Okay, which movie is your favorite?
The Prisoner of Azkaban, which I actually just watched last night.
Okay, so here's the thing. How late were you up watching Harry Potter? Because we had a nice little travel home. Got home at like 8:30 and you watched 2 movies.
Well into the night, I must say.
Okay, well, I believe that. Anything for Harry Potter night out.
Anything for HP.
Stop. Okay. Okay, this is my second question. We're talking about brownies.
Okay.
Okay. Do you prefer a corner piece or a center piece?
I love the center piece. It's just like the juiciness of the mush and the moisture of that
butter and the juiciness.
Just like
In a brownie. Well, and you still like it. Just the batter. Like, there's still like, you still get a little bit of the batter taste.
yeah. Yes.
It's not all the way cooked.
I love it when it's not all the way cooked.
Yes.
And it's still.
That's the same with cookies too.
a little gooey.
Mac, what about you?
Definitely the centerpiece.
Really?
You're a quarter piece gal?
I'm a corner piece gal. Because you get like the best of both worlds.
Is that a red flag?
You get a little free.
I think so.
Okay, I'm not going to explain myself any further then. Why don't you go ahead and give us a little bit of background about life, soccer, wherever you want to start.
Oh, that's a very general,
It's
broad
very-
question.
yeah.
I suppose I will start. I was born in Topeka, Kansas. I grew up there, playing high school soccer there. I played club there, although I soon came to realize that I needed a more competitive setting. So I tried out for teams in Kansas City when I was, I think, like 12 or 13. And I made them. That's how I met Taylor, because we started playing on a club team together in Kansas City. So I started making the commute to Kansas City, driving there back and forth, which was totally worth it. Some late nights, I'm sure, some late nights, but it was fun. And then after high school, I played at Creighton University. And then after college, I played overseas, a few different places, and now I'm just here in Kansas City again.
Yeah, and we're so happy you're here. Tell us a little bit more about your high school into college experience. What did that look like? How did you get there? What were some differences between club and then transitioning? That's a lot of questions.
Yeah, it is a lot of questions, but that's okay. I would say high school soccer versus club is a lot different, but I think for the most part, club is what prepared me to go into college. The club team I was on was an ECNL team, and all of our games and travel experience got me all the exposure to get into college and get recruited and everything.
Was that always a goal for you to play in college, or were you just kind of waiting to see what would happen?
No, I always knew I wanted to keep playing. I mean, even now, I'm like, when am I going to stop? Because I don't know when it's going to.
Because you love it.
Yeah.
Every single day.
Yeah. It's awful. I never get tired of it.
Okay. Tell me more about like how you navigated going into college. Like what did that look like for you?
Well, I had a lot of help from my parents and my coaches. So my coaches helped a lot with the recruiting process, especially our CNL coaches. They were always on top of me, and I was one of the last in our team to commit to a school, and our coach was always like, remember, Dougie was our coach, like the last few years. of club. And he's always like, you need to commit. Everyone else is committed. What are you going to do? And I was just always like, okay. But he always just pushed me, and coaches and my parents pushed me to, find a team and figure out what we're going to do. But they were always really helpful in the process.
Yeah, no. And I think they changed it eventually, but when we were playing, signing was like such a big deal, and we were signing by like our freshman,
sophomore year. I don't know how it is right now, but
I think they pushed it. I'm pretty sure they pushed it back. Thank goodness.
Yeah, because I committed my junior year, and I was one of the last people on my team to commit.
Yeah, well, that, and again, we're asking like 15-year-old kids to pick a school and pick something to study when we're still trying to figure out high school, taking the ACT early, making all these big decisions. Yeah, and even like outside of school, like just trying to figure out life, like learning how to drive.
Yeah, like I barely got my license, and I have to commit to a school for the next 6 years. It's great.
Okay, so what were some of the goals you had going into college?
Going into college, I think,
again, really college.
Yeah. I mean, my goals were really to just like stand out in soccer. I think in terms of school, my goals were just to do my best, because I didn't really know going into it. I didn't know what I wanted to do. Any goals. Like as an 18-year-old girl, I just really went into it just thinking like I just wanted like stand out with whatever I do.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, sports related, definitely it's easier to name, but school related, I remember people always just telling me, oh, it's gonna be a job. Like, yeah, you have to do your job. And I'm thinking, okay, what the hell does that mean? And then you get into it, and then you're like swamped with school and soccer, and then trying to, I don't know, keep up with on your living it mentally. Yeah, living on your own. Again, you're navigating so many things at the same time, especially since the college season for women is in the fall. So the second you get to campus or whatever, 2 weeks prior, a month prior, you're rolling straight into soccer first and then school. You're traveling right away. Like you don't have time to adjust because you're in season and that's your busiest time of the year.
Yeah.
It's freaking will be
bonkers. Softball seniors. Yeah, but you're a student athlete, student comes first.
That's what they have. And Creighton is actually where I fell.
Yes. I was a senior when Mac came in to Creighton as a freshman, and I was actually your something.
So it was my official visit my senior year of high school. I stayed with you and your roommate.
Okay.
So like that's where we first met. Yeah.
And I was your like senior buddy or something?
And then at school. What were your first impressions of Kiara? I'm so curious. I'm trying to remember. I remember just first of all, like thinking you guys were all so cool. I mean, I'm like hanging out with these collegiate soccer players around me playing. So cool. And then obviously Kiara, just being Kiara. I feel like there's no words to describe Kiara.
I feel like you told me once that you were really intimidated by me, and then when you got to know me, you're like, oh, she's just.
And your one roommate was really intimidating too. Don't name names, but I would remember her being really scared. Oh my god, that's hilarious because I feel like every time somebody meets Kiara, you're a little intimidated.
Yeah, if you're intimidated by me, don't, because I'm just a girl.
You're just a goofy girl. She's just a goofy girl. Okay, so I think about this a lot. Looking back, what would you do differently in terms of like researching schools and pursuing different academics?
That's a good question. When I was a lot younger, like freshman, sophomore, there was quite a few schools recruiting me, and at that time, I wasn't like in the headspace really thinking about like what school am I going to go to, so I didn't really like do a lot of research or pursue the schools that I had And my dad helped me do a lot of the work. He was always like calling the coaches. He's like, here, talk to this coach, talk to this coach. And I'm like, hello? Like, what do I say?
Stop your dad right there.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, at that time, I was like 14, 15. I'm like, I don't know what to say. I don't know, how do I decide? Like, how do I know what I want school?
Sure.
But yeah, I mean, I think looking back, I would just maybe take the time, even if you're like young and you don't know, maybe just a little bit more research and see what the schools have to offer, and maybe make a list of things that you want in a school or you like or you don't like, and go from there. So,
And it's hard because you are getting recruited for a sport, like you want to play soccer, whatever it is, but it's also thinking about it. There's a point where maybe you're not able to play. Maybe you do get sidelined because of injury or pandemic or something. Like, do you still like the school you're at? Your coaches could get fired. Would you still like the school you're at? You know, so having the perspective of, do you like the school for the school and not just for the program?
Yeah, that's a great point.
yeah, and I would say like go on as many visits as you can. Like Taylor and I went on a lot of visits. I remember we went on one together because we actually wanted to play college soccer together, which didn't happen. It was really
Well,
sad,
did
but
you guys ever play against each other?
yeah, in college we did.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a whole lot of fun, but also not fun. Because I think we lost, and then I don't know.
But yeah, I think about that all the time. Like, if I had looked at schools, I was so set on being far away from my parents because
Yeah, me too.
whatever, I was a kid. I wanted to get away. I wish I would have looked at schools closer to Kansas City, because I think I would have loved like a St. Louis or even UMKC, Romhurst, like, again, the schools that are closer to home. But I was so set on getting out. And I think seeing that, being a part of the Big 12, wow, that's so cool. And it is, it's great. But there are so many great experiences in different conferences and different schools too. So I wish I would have taken more time to.
But I think it's also the environment you're surrounded by, playing in that very competitive elite level, CNL or whatever program you're growing up in, is if you don't have that like Power 5 name or sight set on the top school, then it's like, what are you doing? Like, why are you playing at this level if you're not trying to pursue? It's just that narrative that I think it's fed into to our heads so young.
Definitely. No, absolutely. Completely agree. Okay, so what were some goals you had post-college?
Well,
Academically or sports related?
or not. Quite related. I think sports, academically, we can get there. Yeah, we can get that later. But sports related, like when my last game at Creighton ended, I was really sad, but I knew I was still gonna keep playing one way or another.
Yep.
I remember that game was really sad. Providence lost 3-2.
Yeah.
We're up 2-0 and still lost 3-2. Sad last game to play your last college career game at. But and yeah, I still knew I wanted to play. So it was like October when that ended, and I still had to graduate in May, so I still had a lot of time to decide, what I wanted to do afterwards, where I wanted to play, and all that. So finished out college, and then I after I graduated, I went to Ecuador soon after that, where my mom's from, my family lives, and so I have citizenship there, so I was able to go down there and play as a local player and not as a international player, and it was fun. I played in a huge tournament, the Copa Libertadores, which is the big South American tournament. Played against like the biggest club name in Brazil, Corinthians. Lost by a lot, not 3-1, but still, it's insane. But yeah, I mean, I knew I still wanted to play, so it was in my head. I was like, this is sad, but I know I still have a lot left to play.
Yeah, I think that's a great conversation to have. Is your career will eventually have to end, right? And having that thought your senior year is the last game? What were some of the things going through your mind? I know saying you knew you were going to continue to pursue playing, but what else were you thinking?
Well, I was thinking like I was feeling a lot of also sadness for like some other teammates that are done actually for good.
Yeah.
Like my best friend from college, Maureen. I mean, she and I were the only seniors left, and I mean, that was her last soccer game she would ever play.
Sure.
And I was sad for her too because I mean, I knew that she didn't want to play afterwards.
Yeah.
I mean, she definitely could have played somewhere like I had, but that's just not something she wanted to do. She was in the nursing program. She was going to be a nurse, and so that's what she wanted to do. But I was also just sad for her because, that part of her life is over, and I knew she would struggle too with like her identity after soccer.
Yeah, it's hard. Mac, how did you feel?
I honestly feel like I'm still figuring it out.
Yeah.
Just being done this past November, it's just such a shell shock.
Yeah.
Because like you said, your whole identity or a lot of your identity is thrown into this sport, and that's what you commit yourself to. And so life after that, it's kind of like starting over in a way. You're like, a baby again. Like, what I gotta figure? Yeah, I gotta figure this out.
No, absolutely. And it's terrifying, but it's also super, super exciting because, you can obviously stay in the athletic world, but you can also start to pursue new things too,
And there's so many things you can still do in the soccer world. Like coach, teams, so many other things.
Yeah. Well, even just like play pickup too. So you don't want to play like at a professional level. There's still like adult leagues and
pickup.
yeah, Wednesday, Friday nights.
Playing pickup. What you play like every day?
Yeah, we play in some leagues. We play like a few times a week. It's fun.
And it's fun. Yeah, no, but thinking about a career ending is certainly charitable. But I feel like it's something that we do have to talk about because eventually it is going to happen to everyone, which is scary to think about again, but there's so many opportunities for other things to happen. Okay, I want to talk about, and I think we kind of chatted about this, was it like pursuing pro sport as a female athlete?
Well, I guess first off, I knew I didn't want to like enter the draft. So I think there's just a lot less opportunities for women to get drafted versus men because there's a whole lot of these men's like MLS teams, like first, second, third league, whatever teams, and there's like 12 NWSL teams.
Oh,
yeah, it's like 100 MLS teams versus 12. I could go on and on about that, but I mean that's not really the reason. And there's a lot of other reasons why I didn't want to enter the draft. I mean, I wanted to play overseas and wanted to travel and finish school out and all that. So
did it look like after you were done playing in October, like immediately signing an agent? And was that the step you took, or what was kind of?
No, I mean, I graduated and then after, I went and played at Ecuador without an agent just because I had connections already. My family's there and I had already been there because I had studied abroad there and then played on a team. I wasn't supposed to because I was still an NCAA athlete. Anyways. Well, yeah, I mean, I didn't get an agent until after I played in Ecuador. And he helped me navigate playing over in Israel.
What would you tell someone who is graduating now? What advice would you give them?
Yeah, I mean, I would say, like I always say, put yourself in like all the opportunities you can to be seen, to be.
What does that look like?
Like if there's, like I know the WPSL holds like an international combine. Like there's a bunch of combine. There's not a bunch of combines. There are very few combines for women. But if there are, you see one, put yourself out there, go to it, make connections, and see what you can find. In terms of an agent, like I found one because I reached out to a friend who was playing in Italy, and she gave me her agent's contact information, and that's how I got my agent. But there's so many agents out there. You just can search one and reach out to them. I mean, I would say just like do the work that you can, because it's not just going to come to you.
Again, going back to being a woman in sport, what was your experience youth through high school?
I would say in the youth setting, I had just as much opportunities as the boys. But then as you get older, I'd say like the pro setting, there's a lot less opportunities for women. But I would just say, like, growing up, I don't think I had one women's coach growing up.
Actually, that's not true.
Actually, the very first coach I had when I was 5.
I was gonna say when I was super young.
But I mean, the men's coaches I had, I great things. I would say great things about them. But I don't, maybe just like in the youth club level, and I don't see, like, even now I don't really see very many women's coaches,
Especially at a competitive level.
yeah, especially at the competitive level.
And I think it's hard for women to want to step into that environment because it is so male dominant. But in the same breath, that is also a huge opportunity for change. Yep. To change a narrative, which I think all 3 of us are doing, which is so exciting to be a part of. Because you're doing some coaching too, right?
Yeah, I'm doing some coaching, and I've helped out a lot with Carrie with finesse soccer. She does.
Yeah, love finesse.
She
Loves
does
Carrie.
really great job helping put women in roles where they're, coaches to younger girls. So giving the younger girls access to all these women coaches. That's great.
Want to have like that female mentor. It shows these young girls that, hey, I can do that same thing. I can play in college. I can play professionally. It's not just on the guy's side. Like, I can have those same goals.
Yeah.
You're good. All right. So speaking a little bit of women's soccer, on Thursday, the NWSL confirmed that it has agreed a new 4-year domestic media rights deal with CBS and ESPN and Amazon, which guarantees both more revenue for the league and broader distribution of the games to start 2024. Between them, the 4 networks will show 118 matches every season, which is a considerable increase from the 30 it was airing in 2023. So women's soccer is obviously growing quite a bit. My question is women's soccer the biggest stage in women's professional sports at this point?
Is it at the biggest stage?
Is it the biggest stage for women's professional sports? Like, is it the biggest women's sport out there at this point?
I think so, 100%. I mean, in terms of like other countries, women's soccer in other countries, I feel like it's developed a lot faster than we have. So 100% women's soccer sets the stage for women's sports.
Yes, agreed. No, definitely. And I cannot wait to see it continue to grow.
And do we think the additional exposure will help some of those things you were talking about, like not as many women's coaches and things like that? Will that national exposure help on the ground level? What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think it already has. I mean, the stuff that the women's national team has been doing and the exposure they've given for women's sports, and then putting, encouraging and forcing the presence of women's sports in the media. I think that talk has already launched women's soccer to this point, to where they're getting these deals with ESPN and CBS. So just it's that continued talk and continued exposure. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, the continued talk and the continued action. Yes. From talk can be cheap. Yeah. But no, it's huge. Yeah, definitely taking steps forward, and hopefully, I hope that encourages more women to get involved and to take leadership roles, especially. I think will be phenomenal for women across the board, and that can lead to like the development of the NWSL and more franchises and more teams, just like more teams for the girls that want to play. Opportunities, yes, opportunities.
Cool. Second one is, I don't know how to say her last name. Megan Rapinoe? Megan Rapinoe tears Achilles in the 3rd minute of her final game, but goes out as kind of a legend. How do we feel about it?
It was in the final of the NWSL. I don't remember the 2 teams. It was her team, and then they were.
It's Creighton and Gotham.
Yeah.
Really?
Crazy thing
that
happened.
happened. Okay, well, that's really crazy, but why not do it on your last game rather than your first game? I mean, I would say that's the best case scenario.
And it's a hard way to go out. Your last game.
That's a tough way to go out.
Yeah. Taylor knows from experience, and Keeley's are no joke. Yeah, Keeley's are no joke, man. That's wild. I did not know that happened. Yeah, that's unfortunate that obviously she got injured, but
What about like the overall legacy of her and some of the athletes of her class on women's soccer? What do you think it leaves? Did she set it up for the next generation? Do people like that do that? And what do you guys think about it?
Yeah, I think her and a bunch of other players in her class, like I really enjoyed watching Toby play. I haven't seen her play in a while. I don't know what she's up to, but yeah, like their generation of players, like really set the standard for the younger players. Because I mean, when they were playing like the U.S., I feel like they'd never lost a game, and just so dominant. Yeah, so.
Taylor Swift changes lyrics to "Karma is the guy on the Chiefs" and during one of her biggest concerts overseas. Are we over this, or is it just getting started and do we love it?
did you guys see this?
No. I did, and Travis Kelce flew to Argentina to see Taylor.
And that's where this happened. It was at the concert that he was at. She changed the lyrics.
I think it's just getting started, because you know what? We can have little Chiefs babies, and I'm here for it.
Oh, we're thinking in the future.
Here, 50 steps forward. Why not?
Holy shit. Yeah, no, I think it's just getting started, which I don't think it's a bad thing. I think a lot of people are taking it the wrong way, and some people are probably taking.
I don't see how some people can take this the wrong way. It's literally two celebrities dating, supporting each other, supporting the economy. What is wrong about this? I mean, if you don't like them individually, that's your own problem.
If you don't like them, you're investing too much time in them. Like
if you don't like them, just like
they're not impacting your life. It's obviously thrown in your face in the media, but it's because everyone's gonna look at every single update that's out there.
Yeah. I mean, if the media is talking too much about them and like publishing too much about them, then don't read it.
Don't read it. Don't get involved. It's all right. Let them be, man. I feel so bad for Taylor Swift sometimes. She is in the media all the time. It's a different level of famous.
She just reached billionaire status. Mm-hmm. She's a billionaire now at 33. And I mean, why would you not support that? If you don't, you're just jealous, bro.
Stay away, everyone.
Just kidding.
Are you coaching or anything? Like, is there a place where people could look you up? And
yeah, I'm coaching. You can look me up. I mean, my Instagram is just Kiara Houser, Kiara_9. But yeah, I do some private sessions for young girls. If anyone's interested. Besides that, not much else.
Yeah, you're right. So you can get training with a pro, which is so cool. Thank you for sitting with us and chatting with us.
Oh, thank you.
Love you guys. College Pro experience. Yes, we love you so much.
Woo!
Yeah.